Alright everyone, this is the tutorial video for bMobile Sales and the replacement to Sync Manager for bMobile Sales to connect to QuickBooks. The very first step is to open up a browser and to go to bMobileSales.com, and you'll notice a new website that we've created to replace the Sync Manager tool that Intuit has decided to cancel. So bMobileSales.com is the web portal that will be for your bMobile Sales account and the conduit between the device and your QuickBooks file. So once you're here, you have to reestablish a new authentication. So if this is your first time here, obviously you will not have an email address and password. So to get one, you're going to go ahead and click on the free trial up in the top right hand corner. When you click on that, you're going to fill in your company name. You're going to fill in your email address. You're going to fill in a phone number and a password and reconfirm that password. Once you're done there, you go ahead and click on Finish, and it will create your account and you'll be logged in, and it will push you through a login process. If you've already created that, and this will be on your second time back to bMobile Sales, you're going to go ahead and type in your email address, and you're going to type in your password, and you would log in, and you'll be at the home page. Currently this website is very simple. We're replacing the tool that we have, but our plan is to build out new functionality in dashboards and visualizations in the data as we grow this application. One thing to note, if you haven't recognized already, we have rebranded our solution from bMobile Now to bMobile Sales. That's just to make the clear distinction between the two products as we do this transition, and to build upon the new bMobile Sales platform. So the first step, as I stated, is to synchronize or to log in. That's a simple step, and we've completed that task, and we'll move on to step 2. Step 2. All right, now that we've logged in and we're at the home page, once we're here, we simply click on Download QuickBooks Data Synchronization App. You'll notice, depending on your browser, it's going to put that application down in your system tray. For right now, until Google certifies us, you may get this answer of that it's a dangerous file. You can go ahead and click on the down arrow and click on Keep, and you're going to go ahead and run that file from the tray. Once you're there, you just simply click through the installation process, put the file where you want it to be. If you get that, you want to update .NET, and you'll be prompted through that install, and the PC that you're working on will have to be rebooted, and you'll sort of have to start over again. You will have to log back in and download that file again, the synchronization app, to kind of start this process over, since you had to update .NET in between. But once you've walked through that process and gotten through that, you'll go ahead and close that, and out on your desktop you will see an icon similar to this one, and you'll go ahead and launch the bMobile application. And from that application, you will go to, bring it into focus here, and then you're going to go to File and Settings. And from there, this is when you need to have QuickBooks open. So I'm going to go ahead and open that. And a couple things about QuickBooks: you'll need to make sure that you're in single user mode, and you'll have to make sure that you're an administrator in the software. That's purpose of that is to make sure that the connection and the certificate from QuickBooks gets added to the third-party apps. I'm going to go ahead and open that up. Once you have QuickBooks open and you're in your file and you're in single user mode, you can go ahead and click on Change. It's going to say make sure your company file is open. You can click OK, and it will map that solution to QuickBooks. And you can make sure that you're in the right company by just checking out the company name. And then the login that you get put into the bmobilesales.com website, you're going to go ahead and enter that and your passwords, confirm it, and then you're going to click on test and make sure that it passes. Once you're okay there, you're going to click on OK and save. And then at that point, you have loaded this application and you have gotten through the connection to QuickBooks, and we're on to step 3, which is synchronization of data to the cloud. So step 3 is simply, once you've made that connection and you've got the synchronization app connected to QuickBooks, you're going to go to this first option, which is send QuickBooks data to web. It's going to ask you what kind of data you want to send. Obviously, the first time you're going to want to send all information, and you're going to go ahead and click on Start. Notice down in the bottom left-hand corner of that window, it kind of prompts you where you are in that process. Downloading inventory, customers, sales reps, sales tax codes, anything needed to be associated to an invoice. And then it will tell you when it's complete. And then you can go ahead and close that window. Now we're on to step 4. All right, step 4 has to do with your device. You're going to need a Android tablet or Android phone, whatever you're using to utilize bMobile Sales on. You're going to go to the Play Store, just as if you were downloading an app, and then I want you to go ahead and search for bMobile space sales, and then you'll see our older apps out there, bMobile Now apps, and then you'll see bMobile Sales with our new logo and icon, and you're going to go ahead and click on that, and you're going to go through the install process of that APK. So it asks you a few questions, accept the application, and go ahead and download it, and then ultimately it'll have you open that application once it gets through the download and install process. I'm going to go ahead and open it up. From here, the next thing to go through is the settings. So just like when you set up now, there's a set of things that we need to do. The first thing we need to do is go through the sync settings. So that's the second option here. And we're going to go through, and you're going to enter in your username and password that you connected to bmobilesales.com on, and at that point you're going to go ahead and click on Save, and it will authenticate and make sure it connects. If it authenticates and connects, it'll take you back to the main menu, and you are authorized to use the product. The next thing I would do is go through the settings of the device as a whole. I'll point out a few that you want to make sure that you're cautious of and make sure you really visit. The first one is you have to choose a sales rep to be associated with this device. So make sure you choose one of those. The next thing I would be, I guess, make sure that you check into is the invoice number. These invoice numbers are going to be set back to 0. So if you want them to start at a certain sequence number, or maybe have a letter at the beginning to distinguish them as a new invoice in the system, then make your change that you want. I'll make this one start with a B, and you can do the same thing with orders, and you can do the same thing with the estimates. Next question is make sure that you turn on signature capture if you do want to do that. And then probably the one of the most frequent thing everyone does is also talks about using a printer. You want to choose the type of printer you're using, which might be a PrintTech, and then choose it off the devices that are paired to this device. So I know that this particular unit is a PrintTech printer, Field Pro. I'm going to go and save that, and then at that point I can back up and I can go to the main screen. To go ahead and, right after you've done all that, you would go to sync and you would say update all. By the way, if you haven't synced before, the sales rep when you go there may not be available to you to choose quite yet. So you might have to sync first and then go ahead and choose that sales rep underneath settings. But you saw that I updated the program, and at that point I'm able to utilize and see customers and products, and we'll go through that in a second, which is step 5. All right, step 5. Step 5 is going ahead and creating transactions to send back to QuickBooks. So I'm going to go see Baker's Professional. I'm going to create a new order, and you should all be familiar with the interface that that bMobile Sales has. This has not changed in compared to bMobile Now. So I'm going to add a few items to the invoice. we'll create a transaction for Baker's Lighting. I'll go ahead and pay that one, and I'm going to say this one is being paid by cash. I might add a note, and I'm going to not print this one to waste the paper, and I'll save it. I'll collect a signature because I have signature required on, and I'll save and continue, and it brings me back to the list. I'm going to go ahead and pop back out. We'll just create one transaction, and then I'm going to go ahead and look at my orders. So here is the order that I just created, $216. I'm going to go ahead and look at some reports, and as you work through this you can monitor what you're doing. So here's one invoice for $216, and I'm going to go ahead and sync, and I'm going to sync all again. So the process that we're going through now is we created a transaction on the device. I'm sending it now to bmobilesales.com website for us to be able to pick up from our synchronization tool and bring back down to the desktop, which takes us to step 6. All right, so step 6. Step 6 is to go ahead and download the information that we just updated from the device and download it into QuickBooks. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and open up QuickBooks. I'm going to go ahead and open up the sync tool, and I'm going to click on Get Web Data and Send to QuickBooks. That will pop up in a new window, and I'll click on Retrieve Items. And sorry about that. It shows me the invoices have not been sent to QuickBooks yet, so there's the $216 invoice that we created for Baker's Lighting. I'm going to go ahead and select that, or select the few. If I had a bunch out there, I could select the ones that I want to post. I go ahead and say Post Selected, and at that point it gives me a complete notification, and at that point I can go into QuickBooks and look at the data that we just sent over. So for sample purposes, I created 2. The one that we created just now was the B0002 for $216. There's the first one I created, and there's the second one I created in different demo scenarios. Okay, so that was step 6, and we're off and running, and we rinse and repeat and do that over and over again. If you have any questions, please feel free to call bMobile at 208-331-5667. Again, 208-331-5667, or you can get to support at support@bmobileroute.com, and we'll be glad to help you any way, shape, and form. Appreciate your time, and thanks again for choosing bMobile.